Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Sing podcast, specifically So Frail Conversations. We are back. Today's topic is going to be very, very controversial, very, very touchy, and very, very piss the motherfucker off. But you feel me? Y'all know how I get down. Y'all know how I rock. This is something that I had a conversation with a sister about. I ain't gonna say it was a heated conversation, but it was very passionate. You feel what I'm saying? We both really felt strongly about the shit that we was talking about and the perspectives in which we was coming from. So it was, I'm not even gonna say it was an agree to disagree type thing. It was more of a, this is where I stand, this is where you stand. I fucks with your perspective, you fucks with my perspective, whether we can fuck with each other's perspective or not. If that made any motherfucking sense. But the conversation was about abortions, right? It was about abortions, which led to what we're talking about today, which is going to be paternity, right? So we were talking about abortions, and it was, the whole pro-choice shit. You feel what I'm saying? It was, it's her body. She could do whatever she want to do. If that's the case, may be cool. I'm for that, right? So if she decides I don't want this baby, she can go get an abortion. I'm with that. I'm not against pro-choice or whatever the case may be. I don't give a fuck. That's not my body. You feel me? That's not me. It ain't really got shit to do with me. But when it came on the perspective of men, I was like, so if she says she doesn't want the baby, she can go get an abortion, right? Whether he wants it or not, she can go get an abortion if she doesn't want it. So I said, at what point is he wrong? Because if he tells her, I don't want a baby, and they get pregnant anyway, and you feel me? He walks out. She said, that's wrong. You can't do that. I'm like, how? She was like, because as the man, he was supposed to use the, I'm like, yo, that was a mutual thing. She let the motherfucker, fuck raw too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so it ultimately led to the conversation we're going to be discussing today about paternity. You like how I flipped that shit, don't you? It's going to cover a little bit of abortions, but for the most part, it's going to be talking about paternity. You feel what I'm saying? And men's options for paternity and our perspective of, how we're supposed to respond, if, we don't want the baby, but she do, because if the roles are switched and I want the baby, she can easily say, fuck that. I don't want this baby. I'm getting an abortion now. There's going to be a lot of dynamics. So you got to understand, I'm going to be talking that shit like I always talk. But this was something that I think really needs to be discussed. It's something that really needs to be talked about, because why in the fuck can't we as men have our side? You feel what I'm saying? Everybody fucking raw. You feel what I'm saying? But when it comes to the woman, it's like, okay, now I have the control and I can say, I don't want this baby. But as a man, you can do all of the shit that I do, but you can't tell me you don't want this baby. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Only I can do that shit. So I feel like that's fucked up. But I'm going to expound on it a little bit more because there's a lot of layers to the shit. But as always, before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_scene_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSing.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, sponsor, and donate to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated, loved, and respected. And to all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the description of your podcast. Not the link of this episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal is just fine. Goddamn, my motherfucking back. That bitch flowed. It ain't fuck with me the last time, bro. But yeah. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into So Frail Conversations, paternity. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSing.com. There you can get all things Just Sing. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSing.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSing.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSing.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSing.com. You ever want to just chat with Sing about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSing.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSing.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, we're going to dive straight into it. First thing I want to go ahead and talk about, get this bullshit out of the way, is the abortion part. You feel what I'm saying? I kind of already alluded to it, but I want to go ahead and talk about the abortion part, because the abortion side of it all is, y'all can't, like, it's pro-choice. It's her body. She could do this. And I'm not talking about the women who know they got pregnant by a motherfucker who won't shit. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the women who make a choice with a man who possibly would have wanted that child, who potentially would have wanted that child, and it affects their longevity. Perfect example of that. Perfect fucking example of that is on The Game with Derwin and Melanie. Derwin ended up getting Melanie pregnant. Now, this was before the Janae shit. This was before all of the shit. I think they was in college or some shit like that when it actually happened, before all the bullshit. And Melanie got an abortion and didn't tell him. She got an abortion and didn't tell him. So Derwin, y'all know how that story went. He had all of the bullshit with Janae and all of that, had a baby and everything. And him and Melanie were working on a kid, and Melanie just couldn't get pregnant. So they went to the doctor, and the doctor asked her, he was like, yo, have you ever had an abortion? And then she just kind of got silent and didn't say anything. And then Derwin looked at her. He was like, was it mine? And she really didn't say shit then. And it was just like, the thing was, I guess it was because she was young or whatever the case may be. I don't remember the full story, but I do know that the abortion fucked up her chances to have a child. Right. And Derwin actually wanted a baby with her. I know. We're talking about he did a whole bunch of fuck shit. Stay on point. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this specific thing. Feel me? What's the fuck wrong with people now? They see a little bit of details and they start running off. Stay on topic, right? So she got the abortion without his knowledge. Derwin would have been like, and as you can see, and if you were able to see from the situation with Janae, he would not get an abortion despite the fact that he wasn't with her anymore, despite all of that shit. He would not get that abortion because he's like, he don't believe in it. You feel me? I'm going to take care of my kid. I'm going to take care of my child. I'm going to raise my child. I'm going to do what I need to do, right? So he never had that chance with Melanie. You feel what I'm saying? And it was without his knowledge. He didn't even know that's why, they weren't having babies. You feel me? It fucked him up. Because he was like, he didn't even drink, but then he was drinking in the time. He was like, Melanie can't have kids. That shit hurt him. Because he wanted babies. You feel what I'm saying? So in that regard is which I'm speaking on for this particular context, because that is something I personally feel should be consulted on before. If you know that, if you got a man that's like, if I had a baby right now, he'd fuck with me. He'd stay with me. You feel me? And my brothers, if you are in that space where you actually fucking with her. You feel what I'm saying? And if you're not in that space where you fucking with her, stop fucking them raw, bro. Y'all fucked up so many different, we have fucked up so many different women off of this shit. Their bodies are now damaged and they can't really procreate the way they want to because they got the abortion, not realizing that some abortion clinics sterilize motherfuckers and shit. And now they're struggling to have babies again. You feel what I'm saying? Shit's almost like it was planned for the parenthood. I don't know. But anywho, in that situation, it's like, how do you bounce back from that? Because now it's like, I get, going through the abortion side for an ain't shit motherfucker. But see, that raises another issue, because I'm talking to my sister. This is so frail conversation, but I want to talk to my sister real quick. If you feel that you have to abort a baby, why the fuck were you fucking them raw? That shit, that was a part of the conversation that me and the sister was having. She was like, well, the men are the ones who ejaculate and I was like, into the woman. But men control the condom, and you have the penis that has to go into the woman. The fuck? How is it that women want to be accountable 100% and own every fucking thing, except when it's your part in the sexual act? Now, this is not to talk about rape. I'm not talking about rape. If you got an abortion because somebody raped you or some shit like that, or you're that's different. And if you were the raper and the rapist, you feel me? You deserve to be dead. You need to be shot, castrated, hung, mutilated, all of that shit. That's what needs to happen to you. Anywho, and when you guys had consensual sex, like, you feel me? I knew this woman who got pregnant, right? She got pregnant because, now this is some very fucked up shit. And it's not rape or anything like that, but this is fucked up in the mentality of these two people. They should not have been fucking raw anyway. You feel me? She got pregnant because the condoms were on the other side of the room and neither one of them wanted to get off the bed to grab them. I heard the story and I'm like, it's a joke, right? She was like, no, I didn't want to get up. He didn't want to get up. So we just said, fuck it. And we fucked. Wow. Like, it was really like that? Like, that fucking easy? Like, you feel what I'm saying? And then it's like that person ended up getting an abortion. And then now the psychological shit want to come in. Oh my gosh, I hear the bit. Like, yo, you could have prevented that if you would have just took, and then the crazy thing about it is, like, it was a college dorm room. You could take 2 steps and be on the other side of the dorm room. It's like, yo, y'all were too lazy to get up to get the condoms on the other side of the room. That is a whole different level of irresponsibility, some shit that I can't even fathom. Like, how? You feel what I'm saying? 2. Now, let's go on a bigger scale. Now, this is one of those situations where I'm like, I wasn't even mad that y'all got an abortion. Like, for real. Like, I don't condone abortion or whatever the case may be, because you got to be proactive instead of reactive. I feel like it's a reactive response. But in their case, they did not need to be having babies. If the 2 motherfuckers are in the room with the condoms and they're literally looking at the condoms and they decide, I don't want to go get them. I don't want to get them. Okay, we fucking raw. They don't need to be parents. Dead ass serious. Like, they do not need to be fucking parents. Like, I that shit was mind blowing. I said, y'all, that's really what it was? Damn. It wasn't like there was a love. There was some kind of bond. There was some kind of trust. You feel me? It was like, it was solely because the condoms were out of reach, out of physical reach, not even out of reach in the sense like you couldn't go get the motherfuckers. Like, no, they were out of physical reach. Like, you couldn't reach out and touch the motherfuckers because you wanted to feel the fire. Anyway, let me get back on track. So, in that regard, I see where abortion could come in. But then that's also like why I'm like, okay, the responsibility is on 2 parties. It's not just on one party. We can't just look at us as the brothers and be like, yo, it's on him because he was supposed to put the condom on. No. She consented. She allowed all of this shit to happen. She allowed a raw penis to go on her several times, in and out, and ejaculate. You feel me? Now, okay, cool. Let's say it was supposed to be on the man or whatever the case may be, but now we have plan B. You felt this motherfucker bust off in you. You knew you were ovulating. You knew your cycle. And that's another problem. If you are in that age and you don't know your cycle well enough to know that you ovulate, don't be fucking. But again, now this goes back into our parenting, because we got to teach our girls a lot better than just, you feel me? Oh, you have your period, put a pad on or put a tampon in the bitch. We got to really start breaking down what a cycle is in depth. When her ovulation these things need to be important, because this is how so many little girls are out here, doing whatever they're doing and they're getting pregnant or whatever the case, because they don't know they fucking bodies. And as men, we definitely don't know our fucking bodies. We definitely don't. I know we don't know their bodies. You feel what I'm saying? But in this regard, we have to really put that shit into perspective. And we really have to start to teach our girls better, teach our boys better. If we teach them right, maybe they wouldn't just be having sex frivolously. I don't know. Go figure. Stop telling them, oh, you're too young for this. They're not too young for these fucking hormones that are kicking in. Their natural biological function doesn't tell them they're too young for the shit. Grow the fuck up. You're a fucking adult. Teach your fucking babies. My bad. I was triggered because I got little cousins that are in high school now. You feel what I'm saying? And they know about sex. I know they know about sex. And I be asking them, they be like, I'm like, when your mama, when your dad, oh, now they say I'm too young for that. I know you're not too young for that. You feel me? I know you're not too young for that. I was in high school. Hell, Y'all heard the story. I started fucking when I was 11. Why? Because everybody kept telling me I was too young for that. But they couldn't tell me why the fuck my dick was getting hard in the middle of the night. They couldn't tell me why when I'm around women and like I just get a random tingle and I don't know how to control the shit. They weren't telling me that shit. They just kept saying, you're too young to know about this. You'll learn about it when you get a little bit older. I. So now you have two inexperienced motherfuckers coming together who don't know shit about shit and they just want to have a feeling. You feel what I'm saying? We need to teach our kids better. Anyway, back to the abortion shit. My bad. That was a tangent. So the abortion can be prevented if the sex is controlled properly. You feel what I'm saying? It's motherfuckers like, yo, just pull out. What? No, that's not safe because you have pre-cum. There's so many different layers to the shit. You dig what I'm saying? There's so many different layers to the shit. And so we can't in one breath at that point, like at that point, we had to start taking accountability. We had to start being responsible and taking accountability for the bullshit that we're allowing, men and women. Like my dude, now we're going to segue into the deadbeat shit because you don't get trapped the fuck off. You feel me? It ain't just, oh man, bitch, you went in that motherfucker raw. The condom popped and you stayed in that bitch, if that's the case. You feel me? It ain't like you busted in the condom, she stole it and used the turkey baster. Now that's trapping. But when you are penetrating in and out, several motherfucking times, several motherfucking times, several motherfucking times. If you are in that space doing that shit, you feel what I'm saying? You kind of deserve what you get. You're not trapped. You made a conscious choice. Oh no, her body wasn't supposed to conceive and the egg wasn't supposed to meet with the sperm and start the life. That's her fault. No, nigga, that's your fault too. King, God, whatever the fuck y'all want to call each other, because this right here has to be dealt with. You feel what I'm saying? Now it's her fault. You busted her down, bragged, yeah, man, motherfucking skeeted all. You did all of that shit. You dig what I'm saying? All of that shit only to end up, you feel what I'm saying? End up lost in the sauce. You feel what I'm saying? And now you want to blame her. You feel what I'm saying? Now you want to put it on her. No. It's a collective thing, bro. It's a collective thing. And the problem is y'all are in a different space. Y'all are in a different mental space for this shit. You feel what I'm saying? A totally different mental space for the shit. And y'all don't need to be fucking. Like, seriously. Like, y'all don't need to be fucking. Like, this shit, it blows my mind. Because then it's like, oh, she trapped me. Now you have the baby. It's like, I don't want it. At what point did you decide you didn't want the baby? You feel what I'm saying? For my brothers, I really want to ask that question. At what point do you decide that you no longer want this child? You feel what I'm saying? What's the point? What point? Is it after the conception? Is it when you finally get to know her? You feel me? Or how about this? How about this one? Is it before you actually put your dick in her? You feel what I'm saying? Old heads didn't teach us shit, bro. Old heads didn't teach us nothing but how to get pussy and but they never taught us the value of a woman. They never taught us none of the powerful shit we supposed to be dealing with. You feel what I'm saying? So now we got to eat this bullshit. Now we got to rock on this bullshit and we got to be in this position where we like, okay, I don't really know, but I'm going to fuck anyway. You feel what I'm saying? You was a deadbeat before you got her pregnant. You was going to be an absent father before you got, like, you're an irresponsible being. You feel me? If in your mind you already, like, you can concede that, yo, I could fuck this person raw and nothing could happen. You don't need kids, bro. You don't need babies. You feel me? You don't need babies. Now, let's go to the ones who are a little bit, quote unquote, advanced. You're fucking her and having a baby with her because she bad. I'm putting a baby in her because she a bad bitch. Yo, I was listening to my homegirl's podcast, Unstable Creatures. Go check it out. You know, And she said something very, very fucking profane that fucking blew my mind. If you heard my podcast episode, I don't remember which episode it was, but I was talking about meeting the girl, you know, in the trailer who was bad. She was bad as shit, but she was in the trailers, right? So in this podcast, the Unstable Creatures podcast, I want to say it's episode 4. So she was mentioning, you know, imagine, right? You know how we used to be in the class. It's not funny, but it's humorous. It's just not, it's fucked up. But look, you know how we used to be in those classes and you would have those students who would lead. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the trailers. I'm not talking about the trailers at this point, but it's just, I brought it up because it's like, you know, that was identifiable. It's like, okay, she's in the trailers. I know I'm not fucking with her. Hell no. Nah, fuck that. No. But it became different when I looked at it from this perspective. She said, imagine when you were in class, high school, middle school, whatever, and towards the end of class, you saw those kids leave and they were the IEP kids or whatever the case may be, right? So she said, let's just say, you know, she was putting it in perspectives or whatever. I'm gonna use a different perspective. I want y'all to actually go hear the shit that she broke down. But she was like, imagine how many people are in your class, right? That's just your class, bro. Imagine that being, let's say you have 3 people that leave out of a class of 20. That's what? Was that 15%? Wait, hold on. 15. Yeah, that's 15%, right? Let's say that's 15% of the people had an IEP or weren't all the way there. I'm not going to say because they weren't quite in the trailers, but they were on the cusp. They could have been. But you feel what I'm saying? That's 15%. Now, imagine how many of those motherfuckers were the fresh motherfuckers, the fly motherfuckers, the cute motherfuckers, the bad ones. Like, but because y'all was in quote unquote normal classes, you still didn't pay attention to the fact that they had the IEP. You feel me? Because they were normal functioning people. Because they're in your class, you're not really, oh, y'all are in my class. They're in their class because they have to be. They're not quite there to be taken out of your class, but that they're enough to be taken out of a class to have some kind of evaluation. Periodic evaluation. You feel me? How many motherfuckers know the situation with their homies, with the people that they fucking with? Were you in high school doing certain shit? You feel me? Like, were you in high school, middle school with some kind of mental connection like this? Think about that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Look, I got a homegirl, right? I got a homegirl. It's not funny because luckily her genetics kicked in and her genetics took the fuck over. Good job for that. But she's sitting down and she's pregnant at the time. And she's talking to a dude. And he was like she's talking to sitting at the table, right? Having this conversation. And she's, you know, having this conversation with this man. And the conversation of learning disabilities came up. And he says, straight face, honest demeanor. He said, I was in an LD class. Everybody looked at him and then looked back at her stomach and was like, even she looked at him and was like, and I'm on some shit like, you didn't know that? You didn't know that shit? Now, I don't fault her. I'm not laughing at her. I'm not trying to humiliate her or anything like that. The point is, he was a functioning person. If you actually dealt with this person and you sat with him and talked with him and connected with him, you would not know he had a learning disability in high school. You feel me? Learning disability is not necessarily the end all be all. You feel what I'm saying? But to have a disability in learning, it has some kind of precedence. You dig what I'm saying? It has some kind of precedence. So you really have to pay attention to that. So functional wise, he seemed good. He had a good job. You know what I'm saying? He was able, but there was something off. Nobody could pinpoint it. When he said that shit, it made sense. You feel me? How many motherfuckers do you really know the past of? I don't mean like we talk about, let me know about your exes. Fuck the exes, yo. Let me know about school. Let me know about all of the shit that you actually been through. Let me know about shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Again, go check out the Unstable Creatures podcast. That is Yo, if y'all fuck with me, y'all fuck with them. But anyway, that's where that like I heard that and that sparked something in me because now it's like it ties into this conversation because we look at trauma bonds. Oh, you got trauma. Fuck the trauma. At this point, fuck the pain. I get it. We need to heal. We need to grow. We need to do this. Pay attention to people's academic levels. You feel me? Pay attention to how they conduct themselves, how they think, how they process information. Fuck how they've been hurt. I don't give a fuck about that shit no more. Oh, it was in a bad relationship. It was in a bad relationship. I'm bleeding. I don't give a fuck about that shit no more. Tell me about your last relationship. How well did you know this motherfucker? You dig what I'm saying? How well did you know this motherfucker? Was this motherfucker in a slow class? Did this motherfucker have an IEP? You feel me? Does this motherfucker read fluently? Can they read? You feel me? That says a lot about not only them, but you. You feel what I'm saying? Like I tell the story about the shorty that I was, involved with. Like you are like, I can't get mad at her for that. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, you're involving yourself with a man. You had to read a book too. There's levels, baby. Like it's different. Like I'm not in that pocket. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not in that pocket of dude. But now I'm like, yo, what gravitated you to be able to be in that space? She was a reader. She was, she can catch on, I'm not knocking that. But at the same time, it's like there has to be something for you to catch it. Or did you just not see it? You feel me? No funny shit. Because I grew up with the trappers. I grew up with the gangsters and shit. And I grew up with thugs. But a lot of the motherfucking trappers and drug dealers had IEPs. I know because like a lot of motherfuckers, like I said, my immediate circle, you feel me? Were the motherfuckers who couldn't stay in school. They couldn't you feel me? They always fighting. They always just, them motherfuckers had IEPs, bro. Again, shout out to Unstable Creatures because, that shit put this thing into perspective. So now we're adding babies into this situation. Do you know the mental state of the person you're planning to have a baby with? No. Oh, you make me feel good. Yo, man, she touched me and just did this way, man. That pussy be so good. Is the motherfucker mentally sound, bro? Sometimes we be thinking people are their emotions are fucked up. No, these motherfuckers are mentally retarded. I don't mean mental retardation in the quote unquote derogatory sense. I mean in the objective perspective. Something to be retarded means that it doesn't have the capacity to move as it should. You feel me? You don't necessarily have to be handicapped to be mentally retarded. You can have mental deficits that make you mentally retarded. And if you let that shit sit for a long period of time, it sustains itself. You feel what I'm saying? If you are not constantly using your mind and expanding your mind and expanding your brain, that mental retardation stays there. And sometimes it gets worse. You feel what I'm saying? They say, like people stop reading books after high school. You feel me? Definitely after college, but like once you settle into your job, you start reading books fluently. That's a form of mental retardation because you're no longer expanding your mind. Imagine when you're going through the levels in school, you have to be reading at a certain level, right? Let's say you get to the 12th grade level. There's still levels beyond that. You have the college level, you have the master's level, PhD level of reading. The fuck? Why did we stop? That's mental retardation. So I want you to understand the context in which I'm bringing that up. That's mental retardation that I'm speaking on. You do what I'm saying? So keep that shit in mind, bro. Like when you are dealing with somebody, have you checked their background enough to know that, I shouldn't be fucking with her? You feel what I'm saying? This shorty, she got a PhD. She's still, I don't give a fuck. And then sometimes it can slip through the cracks. Shorty got a PhD and she shot this man because she wasn't mentally sound. I don't give a fuck what nobody's. Oh, no, that wasn't an emotional response. That was a mental response. I don't give a fuck because she went through the ranks. She got a PhD. She killed this dude after 3 months because he ghosted her or whatever the case may be. She killed them 6 months later. You had time to process this shit, lady. You feel me? So now, these are a lot of bad bitches. My brothers, dramatic effect. These are a lot of the bad bitches that we fucking with. You feel me? You talking to these bras that you wonder why sex is her go-to. That's all she has to go to. You dig what I'm saying? It's not no fucked up shit. It's not no disrespectful shit. It's just the reality. This is what she has to draw on. This is what she has to bring out of herself in order to stay and sustain in this relationship. Why? Because there's deficits. And you have a baby with her. You have a fucking baby with her, bro. And you feel, oh, she trapped me. Now I got a crazy baby mama. I got all this because you didn't do your background. You didn't do your background check. This is why ego needs to be killed. I ain't gonna say killed. This is why ego needs to be under control. Because it's our ego that gets us into these situations with these motherfuckers who we don't really do the background on. You feel me? This person makes me feel a certain type of way. Not this motherfucker is incompatible with me. You feel what I'm saying? That's where the give and take comes in. That's where the fucked up shit comes in. That's where the harsh reality comes in. That, yo, I had a baby with somebody who just wasn't there. Like, they literally were not there. Like, you feel me? They really are not there. It's like, yo, you had you know this motherfucker was in them classes, bro. This motherfucker was in the 9th grade 8 times. They aged out of high school. You feel me? Yeah, they got a good job and they work out and they in the gym and shit, but these mental deficits are off, bro. And you gonna have a baby with her? That's it. You didn't get trapped. You just didn't know what the fuck you were dealing with. She saw the lick. She saw the lick like a motherfucker and she licked you, sucker. She got you. But you didn't see none of the shit that you were supposed to see, bro. The fuck? You can't get mad at her. You feel me? You can't get mad at that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So again, in those circumstances, in those situations, I get it. Okay? Get an abortion. That's the easy way out, right? It's not easy to go forward and say, you know what? I cannot fuck with this motherfucker here. She's fucking crazy. You feel me? She's crazy. You feel what I'm saying? I had a homeboy, we was 15 years old. 15 to 16. Had to be 16. I don't know. It was during that run. 15 to 18 years old. It was during that run. So he had to be like, he was a year younger than me, a couple months younger than me. So he had to be like 15, maybe. Either way, fuck the ages. We used to go to the movies every weekend. Yep, it was definitely 15 to 16 because we was in the movies every fucking weekend. Baddies, getting all the baddies. Anywho, so in this, he's telling me about, like, we see this, like, literally, this is so fucked up. It's gonna be so misogynistic, chauvinistic, all that shit. I don't give a fuck. I was 15. I'm young. So we seen this chick standing outside of the movies waiting on her ride. We waiting on her ride. He was like, go get her. I said, you go get her. He was like, yo, let's flip a coin. I was like, all right, cool. I said, heads, I go get her. Tails, you go get her. Happened to land on tails. I said, that's you, buddy. Whew, I'm so glad it was on him. We ended up calling that girl Crazy Keita. We literally ended up calling her Crazy Keita. And the shit popped off, like, he's like, yo, bro, he said, I'm hitting it, right? He said, yo, I think she tried to trap me, bro. I said, what you mean you think she tried to trap you? What you do? She's like, first off, right, the motherfucker gonna say you don't need a condom, right? So I'm like, nigga, why did you not use a condom? Because, man, you feel me? Like, I said, okay, for one, you don't know, like, fuck, like, you don't know if she has a disease or not. You don't know none of that shit. I'm gonna get into that part too. You know what I'm saying? So he like, all right, man, fuck all that shit. I ain't trying to hear no. I said, all right, bro, you came, like, this is what it is. So he's telling me about Crazy Keita and shit. And so he was like, bro, I'm hitting it right. And I fucked up. I said, what you mean you fucked up? What do you mean you fucked up? He said, I told her, he said, yo, I'm about to come. And she wrapped her legs around me, bro, and wouldn't let me out. I said, oh, so you was on top when she got you. He was like, yeah, man, she wouldn't let me out. I said, oh. He said, nigga, this ain't funny. I said, it is funny, bro. You should have put a condom on. He said, nah, man, fuck all that. I ain't trying to hear all that shit. He said, man, what the fuck I'm gonna do? I said, you're gonna think about it better in the future. I said, you better hope she's not pregnant. She didn't get pregnant. He ain't had no baby with her and shit. But it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the game. It's what you choose to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't get mad at, you feel me? I don't even like, I'm stumbling on my words because it's like, we do this shit, you know what I'm saying? And we don't pay attention. We don't think it's repercussions for our actions. You feel what I'm saying? Again, it's reactive. Now it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to get an abortion at night. Nah, bro, you could have just put a condom on. You feel me? You really could have just put a condom on. But, you know, we all have our moments. You feel what I'm saying? We all had our moments. I had my first slip up. You know, luckily the girl didn't get pregnant or whatever the case may be. But you feel me? I felt the condom pop. I felt the difference in the change. You feel me? I stayed in the motherfucker. I was what, 15? I stayed in the motherfucker. Still busting it out. You know, bust off and shit. Don't feel the little pullback that happens when you fill the condom up. It's like, uh-oh. I pulled out the whole condom down to the base of my. I said, yo, the condom pop. No, no, no. I looked at her and I was like, I do not want a baby with you. No. But accountability. You feel me? That was something I should have thought about before that shit. You feel me? That was something I should have thought about before that shit. Like I said, luckily she did not get pregnant. Now that's when I started learning about ovulations and all of that other shit. And I was like, oh, so she really wasn't in the space to conceive. Okay, cool. You feel me? We was out of that window. You feel me? And it's like, it kind of started to blow my mind because it was like, how many of us don't know that shit as men? Like we running into a woman right now. You feel me? You might not. If that's your lady, that's your old lady, you've been fucking with her for a minute and shit, you probably know when her cycle comes on. You know her whole cycle probably better than her. You know what's up. The reason why you probably know what's up because you guys' cycles are in sync. What people don't really, this is a quick tangent. What a lot of men don't understand is that we have periods too, but because we don't bleed and we eat tampons and shit, we don't get it. But the lunar cycle, the period actually itself, the menstrual cycle is connected to the cycles of the moon, the phases of the moon. That's why it's 28 days. And it's affected by the blood and the hormones. We have blood and hormones too. This is why when we start to get in sync with women, when they period about to come on, we get frustrated with them too because our menstrual cycles align. You ever seen like multiple women in the space and you feel me? All of their periods come on. Like, look, when I was in undergrad, I lived in I kind of lived in my girlfriend's suite at the time, but like all of her homegirls, all of the women in the suite, their period shifted to the same time. And they would come, yo, you got a tampon I can use, whatever case may be and shit. Like, I used to pay attention to that shit. But anyway, as men, same shit happens to us. Our hormones and shit like that, our emotions, they get out of check too. We just don't know how to deal with our emotions. We're never taught to deal with our emotions. So when we have a sporadic moment of, I'm just angry. Oh, I'm sad. We don't know how to process it and how to deal with it. But we don't know that we're on our cycle, but we are. But anywho, that's the reason why I was saying this, because that's why we know when our cycles are, our woman's cycle a little bit better than them because our cycles align. Didn't even know that shit. Teach you something. But anywho, yeah. So how many of us are running into a woman right now? We don't know if she's ovulating. You feel me? I had my moments. I'm glad, like I'm glad I had those early moments and shit. Like, cause I used to have one night stands and shit, go to the club. Yo, you coming home with me? I'm not coming home with you, but you send me your address, I'll pull up. I don't know shit about this woman. I just know I got a pocket full of condoms and shit. And I'm like, all right, she could be ovulating. She could have some. She could this. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Bitch is bad. I remember the first time I ever heard that, I was 17 years old. My homeboy said, she don't look like she got something. And when he said that shit, I was like, what the fuck does that look like? And it hit me. I was like, what does it look like? Because we think about diseases and things like that, but we never consider. So it's like, now I'm going back to the abortion situation, but I want to talk about this point too. What if it's not a baby that you get? Why is that not a thought process? What if it's AIDS, HIV, coronavirus? Shit is getting real. I heard that's being sexually transmitted now too. I don't know. But anyway, what happens when we look at it from that perspective? Why are we not paying attention to that? You dig what I'm saying? Like, the baby is some later shit. All right, you don't get a baby. You feel me? I've heard homies say shit like, you feel me? As long as my girl clean, I'm clean. If I find out that she got something, then that's when I know it. Nigga, that's some nigga shit, bro. I can't even say king God, all of that shit. That's nigga shit, bro. You feel me? You banking your health, your personal health on her. You feel me? That's some sick shit, bro. That's a fucked up mentality, bro. That's a very fucked up mentality. But I don't want to deviate too much because we are talking about abortions and shit. Let me circle it back. So now, there has to come a point where you have to step into a certain position where when it comes to that abortion, it's like, okay, bam, first thing first, I fucked her raw. I did this. I did all of this. Now she got to go get an abortion. Oh, the bitch don't want to get an abortion, man. Fuck that. She trying to trap me. No, she's not trying to trap you. She wants to keep the child that she wants. You fucked up and fucked her off. Nah, man. She wasn't supposed to tell you she was ovulating. She wasn't supposed to tell you that she was fertile. She wasn't supposed to tell you all this shit. It was on your motherfucking ass to know prior to actually fucking her. Hey, huddle up, broskies, because it's time to elevate. The secret to evolving masculinity is to define it, understand it, then apply it. The So Frail series defines masculinity as the spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. From this definition, I explain how masculinity is not just the hat that we wear, but it's the essence that we must exude through application. If you enjoy the So Frail conversations, why not read the books that inspire them? Visit IamJustSeen.com right now to add the So Frail series to your library to get a better understanding of what masculinity really is. I promise, after reading So Frail, you will never look at masculinity the same again. I always assume this is like when I started in the medical field, they always say treat every patient like they got AIDS, right? For my brothers, if you don't take shit away from this motherfucking episode today, take this away from them. Treat every woman like she's ovulating. Treat every fucking woman like she's ovulating. If you're about to have sex with her, treat her like she's ovulating. Whether she is or not, who gives a shit? Treat her like she's ovulating. Because you don't fucking know. You know you really don't know. But treat her like she's ovulating. Treat her like you're ovulating and think, if I don't protect myself, I will have a baby in this moment. Treat that shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? If you have that awkward moment where you can't teach your son about sex the right way because you feel like he's too young or he don't need to be out here fucking, at least plant the seed that if she's ovulating, always treat a woman as just she's ovulating if you're going to be out here fucking. Straight like that. That'll cut the risk down by a motherfucker if they know what ovulation is. You feel me? If they know what ovulation is. Because it's like, you don't know. You don't know if a woman is ovulating or not when you fucking her. Especially not on these one night stands, especially on these, yeah, man, this is something that y'all really need to start paying attention. Especially now, even if you on your woke shit, you feel me? Oh, she's a goddess. She's this, she does yoni steams and shit. But does she know her monthly cycle? Not just when it comes on and goes off, the full process of the motherfucker. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like, if she don't know her own body, I don't give a damn. Like, we talking all this know yourself bullshit. Know your fucking self. Cool. Know who the fuck you are, whatever. Know your fucking biochemistry. Know your body. Know the simple things about you. You feel me? And if that's the woman that you fucking with, that's the woman that you laying with, you need to know that shit too. Ain't no one night stand shit. I don't know. I keep getting back off because this is changing from what I wanted to talk about. So now back to the abortion part so I can get into the next point so we can keep this bitch rocking. You feel me? When it comes to the choice to have an abortion, it's always on a woman. But my brother, here's your choice. Here's your choice. And this is a choice you might not want to hear now, because now we got to put it in perspective of the same magnitude as the shit. Oh, well, I didn't want the baby. You feel me? But she wouldn't get an abortion. So now she got me for 18 years. Okay, cool. You want to avoid that shit? Sign your paternal rights over. We're going to take a moment of silence for that pin drop. Sign your paternal rights over. If you say you don't want that child and she still does, and she refuses to abort the baby or get an abortion, sign your paternal rights over at that moment. Give it up. You take whatever the fuck comes with that shit. Take whatever the fuck comes with that shit. When the little motherfucker go off, become an NBA star and shit, that's not your son. You feel me? When she become the next Misty Copeland, that's not your daughter. Keep that same motherfucking energy. That is the equivalent of what an abortion is. Now you got to eat that shit. Now, when it comes to abortions, I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard women that get abortions like fucking hairdos. But for the women that actually get abortions on some, this is some shit that I really didn't want. Those type of women, when I actually sit and listen to them, be like, yo, I can hear the baby cry. they'll say, I still hold on to that pain. I can't let it go. Like, you feel me? It's some psychological shit that has to go with that shit that they got to live with. Women got to live with that shit. You feel me? We just, get an abortion. I'm on to the next one. And you just left a trail. Goofy motherfucker, you just left a trail. You feel me? She now has to carry that. Because of you. You feel what I'm saying? Now, because of that, now, like I said, we're going on the other side. She doesn't want the abortion. Oh, nah, you're not getting abortion. Okay, I ain't gonna be in the baby's life then. You feel me? You ain't gonna treat me over. Sounding all retarded and shit. Sign your paternity rights over. The moment you decide, I don't want this baby, sign the motherfuckers over. Be done with it. Be done with it. Don't even think twice about it anymore. Now, when that little motherfucker grow up and become something, because the father that actually is in their life, the one who actually assumed the role as father, has planted something in them, that's not your baby no more. Not your baby. Even if she ends up being a single mother and she raises him, that's not your baby, bro. You left it up. You feel me? Feel me? My father had three. Three. Didn't want none of them, but he had three. It's like, nigga, you didn't even, like, okay, you had the first one. Okay, cool. 2 years later, you have the next one. You feel me? Then 5 years later, you have the final one and shit. Like, nigga, at what point did you decide, okay, bam, I don't really want this right now. You feel what I'm saying? Nah. You feel me? He had 3 kids. You feel me? And didn't want us. Till now. You feel what I'm saying? Till now. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was 26. Just after I had published So Frail. I get a phone call. Hey, man, what's going on? Who the fuck is this? This your dad, bro. What's up, Junior? Fuck you doing, bro? Feel me? Yo, bro, like, I just wanted to check up on you, man. How you doing, man? How's everything going? Everything going good, bro. What's going on with you? You know what I mean? I'm just, out here trying to make it. Nigga, how the fuck you out here trying to make it? The fuck? I'm sorry. That is hilarious to me, bro. Like, you my pops, bro. How are you out here trying to make it? You feel me? Anyway, so, he's like, yo, so what you doing? Like, yeah, I live in Philly. You feel what I'm saying? He said, yo, you got a girlfriend or something, man? He said, I know that you got him out. I said, nah, bro, I'm working on my businesses, working on promoting my books and making sure I, stay up. He said, yo, that's what's up, man. He said, you ain't got no kids or nothing, do you? I said, nah, I ain't make that mistake. I said, here's what I told him. I said, nah, I was responsible enough not to make that mistake. So when I actually decide to want some, I'll have them and I'll sit with them. He was like, yeah, man, because, every day I regret the decision that I made. You could have fixed it several times over. I was 26 at the time. I said, you had 26 years to fix it every time. Like, when I say 26 years, literally 26 years. Because when they split, I was 4 months old. Like, you had 26 years, consecutive years, to decide I fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? So this motherfucker gonna tell me, he was like, yo, just make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you out here protecting yourself and you using protection. Nigga, this was the conversation you were supposed to have with me when I was 11 fucking years old. It ain't shit that you can tell me right now. But you feel what I'm saying? The point of that is that you gave that up. Now you see, I know my cousins and shit, like, they see my advertisements, they see the shit that I'm saying, that I do. Like, they tell them, they relay the messages. You feel me? At this point, I'm what? 3 books in? 3 books in, podcast, fucking trading course, fucking investing shit. Like, I'm building something. I think I'm doing pretty good. If it, doing pretty good for myself, if you ask me. You feel what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, you gave your paternal rights up. You gave your paternal rights up. So my brothers, you got to understand this perspective too. Yes, I'm all for that. You feel me? If your thing is to have this, get this woman to have an abortion, she say, I don't want the abortion. At that moment, you say, I signed my paternal rights over, but eat that shit. Eat that shit. Eat that shit when it comes. It's like, I didn't want them. I didn't want them. Okay, cool. This is now what you deal with. You feel me? This is now what you sitting with, that you didn't want them. Eat that. Eat that whole thing. You feel what I'm saying? Because now it's gonna fuck with you the same way it fucks with the woman. A woman who gets an abortion, as I said, not the ones who get them like hairdos, but the ones who get the abortion that actually is like, yo, this shit hurts me because this was a life that I had that I could not carry and all of this shit. Like it fucks with them for the rest of their life. Now you got to deal with the fact that it's fucking with you for the rest of your life because that's not your child. You can't just pop back in. Yo, I was young, didn't know what to do. I had to sign over my rights, man, because I felt like your mama was gonna trap me. Tell the truth. Tell the truth if that's what you want to do. But now you got to eat that. When that child says, "You're not my father. You're nothing to me. You signed over the rights. You see what I'm saying? So you got to eat that shit. But you got to eat that shit. You feel me? There's no more. We can no longer be in this position. Like you don't get trapped. You feel me? She can't put you on child support if you sign your paternity rights over. Some of y'all do that shit for the ego. Like, you feel me? That's what you get. That's what the fuck you get. Oh, I'm going to keep her. I'm going to lock her down. Y'all be trapping women off too. I'll be watching. Oh, she bad. I'm going to put a baby in her. And do what? Do what, nigga? You fucking irresponsible as fuck. Like, what the fuck is you going to do? That's your only goal, to put a baby in her so you can lock her down for 18 years. You ain't contributing nothing to this baby's life. You ain't contributing nothing to her life. You barely contributing something to your motherfucking life. And you want to have a fucking baby. You fucking raw. Y'all piss me off, bro. Like, when I say y'all piss me off, like, y'all really, really fucking piss me off. It irks me. It fucking bugs me. It blows my motherfucking mind how y'all can be this irresponsible. Because now you still want to have that. You want to do grown man shit, but you have an infantile mindset. You feel me? I'm going to run the gamut right now. Look, my nigga, you should not be fucking if you don't have a primary care physician. You should not be fucking if you are scared to buy condoms in public. You should not be fucking if you do not know the anatomy of a fucking vagina. You should not be fucking if your fingernails are dirty. I try to say that over the same face. You know what I'm saying? There's a plethora of things that you should not be doing. Like, you should not be fucking if you don't even have your own social security card in your pocket. You should not be fucking. I'm gonna leave it there because I can go on for days with this shit. You feel me? You should not be fucking. You feel me? And now I'm gonna go to the other side because there's those that are responsible. We got us that are responsible. You feel what I'm saying? We got our jobs. We pay our bills on time. You feel what I'm saying? We got a nice little savings account. We're trying to expand and grow and shit. You should not be involving yourself with women if you don't know they past. See, y'all get so stuck on their exes because of competition. See, when I said misogyny was the competition between men, motherfuckers act like they ain't want it. It's not the competition between men. It's the hatred of women. How does it become the hatred of women? It starts off with the competition of men. I'm going to stand on that shit. You feel what I'm saying? But your relationship is built on how much better you are than her previous man. You feel me? Now, when we're doing that, when we're in, yo, let me know about your ex and everything, we do that to gauge as a barometer to say, I'm better than him. If you're better than him, why are you fucking with her? Now let's put the accountability piece to the shit. Because now let's say you really are better than him. You feel me? He has poor communication skills, but yet she still found a way to communicate with him for a long period of time. There's a lot of things that you got to get. It ain't just, oh, he hurt you, so I'm going to treat you better. No, fuck that. Find out everything about this motherfucker because you start to see what type of motherfucker you dealing with. Now you impregnated a motherfucker who has a trail of men who had learning disabilities. Think about that shit. You meet her exes and they are really just, Bruh, really? Really? Bruh? That's who the fuck? That was your ex? You feel me? That shit, when I was like, the relationship that I was in undergrad, that it was like, you feel what I'm saying? Seeing her ex, the immediate one before me, I was like, we not the same. We not the same. But it's like, yo, at that young age, it's like, I can treat you better than him. I can love you like he couldn't. You feel me? That's all I was coming up on. I could fuck you better than him. I could love you better than him. And I could be what he couldn't be. I didn't know that I needed to be understanding who the fuck this motherfucker was. Because who he is determines if I should have been fucking with her. And it did determine if I shouldn't have been fucking with her, and I wasn't. These two motherfuckers were literally on par with each other. You feel what I'm saying? And now, it played itself out because after our relationship, the type of dude that she got with after me was like, I was never supposed to be fucking with you. But I didn't know that shit. Because in addition to her ex, you have to understand her type. If her ex, my brothers, if the dude's a string of dudes that she fucking with, yeah, they might be volatile. Yeah, they might like to knuckle up and throw their hands and shit or whatever the case may be. And that might be why she with him. Because he tough. Tough niggas get knocked the fuck out too. Trust me, I've knocked a lot of big niggas out. Don't fucking matter. You feel me? Don't matter. Nigga. You feel me? But anywho, pay attention to his mental state, his spiritual state. What kind of person is she fucking? Was she fucking before you? Like, think about, like, you need to learn that shit. You feel me? You got your shit together. And then now she's on this level. She could be on the level and not on yours, my guy. Hear me again. She could be on the level and not on yours. You feel me? You know how many woke women I met in the past 5 years that was like, no, you're just not there. Because they're on the level, they're just not on mine. You feel me? And I'm asking them about their exes. Yo, tell me about your ex. Like, what's your ex like? You feel me? Oh, he won't shit. He couldn't keep up. He was this. Yeah. I already know how this is going to go. They be thinking I'm being an arrogant asshole. It's not being an arrogant asshole. It's understanding that that's what you fuck with. That's your type. That's your motherfucking type. Why is that your type? So why am I considering having children? Why am I considering starting a family with a motherfucker who fucks with niggas, with men like that? With brothers like that? Brothers that she's consciously telling me that are completely not in my league. What makes you think you're supposed to be in my league then if you're coming from that league? Huh? And then now as my brothers, they got us so motherfucking pacified and conditioned and shit. Let women do whatever they want to do. You got to love her for her. You got to do all of this shit. Oh, she can do whatever she wants. She can, just not with me. I need to know her past. And by knowing her past, I don't need to know about just the emotional side of the relationship that you dealt with. I just need to know that shit. I need to know everything. You feel me? I need to know if this mom, like, were you dealing with motherfuckers in a slow class? The fuck? I don't give a fuck if he got money though. He was a hustler. He was a trapper. He was this. I don't give a fuck. Was he in the slow classes? I don't know. You don't even know what the fuck his academic shit was. He went to, I don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers went to college with IEPs. The fuck? We got to understand that education ain't knowledge. Please understand that shit. Education is to be trained to do a job. You can train monkeys to smoke a cigarette. The fuck? How many motherfuckers are really knowledgeable? You feel me? How many motherfuckers are really knowledgeable? I know a lot of educated motherfuckers that's stupid as fuck because they ain't knowledgeable. You feel what I'm saying? So my brothers, you got to ask yourself, she can have that educated man. The fuck does that mean? Does she have a knowledgeable man? Did she come from dealing with men who were knowledgeable? Now you want to get with her and shit. Because it's easy to be the one up. I'm telling you, that's why I'm like, your relationship, they're about the ego and shit. It's easy to be the one up person. Trust me. I know. I mean this in the most modesty, but a lot of times I'm that person that's like, oh my gosh, you're not like my ex. You're so much different. You show me things. Yeah, I know. Now you got to show me why you was even in the position to be fucking with your ex or your exes. Now I get it. If it's one ex, I'm liable to be, okay, you got swindled. But when there's a type and there's a theme and it goes back 3, 4, 5 men, go work on yourself, baby girl. Go work. Go. Just go. No, it's not gonna happen. You feel what I'm saying? And now, as my brothers and shit, we are put in a position where because she's cute, because she bad, because she's quote unquote submissive, whatever the case may be, let me have a baby with her. Right? And you wonder why, like, I had this baby with this woman and shit and all of that. It didn't work out. Now it's like, yo, she got me on child support. I'm a good dude. I'm this, that, and the third. Are you really a good dude if you couldn't even take the time to understand who the fuck you was fucking with? This shit get deep. This is a part of paternity, bro. Paternity is not just assuming to be the father, taking care of the motherfucking father. It's proactive shit to be accountable and responsible to make yourself a father. You're a father before you're fucking father, bro. You feel me? You feel me? I've been hearing this shit since I was like, well, when I stepped into the woke community and shit, back in 2014, 2015. I've had women, yo, you're going to make a great father. Nope, I'm not. I'm telling you, you're going to be a good father. No, I'm not. Not yet. I'm not ready to be a father. And people thought when I was saying that it was so much so as, you know, taking care of a kid, being financially stable. No, there's a mentality that has to understand. Like, you have to be in a mental space before you can have a fucking baby. There's a mental space that you have to be in before a child comes into this world that makes you a father. The fuck? You're not a father because you conceive. You're a father before you even lay down with the woman that you're gonna have a baby with. Then you're a fucking father. Why are you celibate? Like, why you can't find? No, I haven't found a one. Like, I'm not fucking anybody anymore. The woman that I decide to start penetrating again, the woman that I decided, like, yo, my vision is for her to be the mother of my kids. It ain't no motherfucking fling. I'm not just tapping into this experience like it's balance. No, fuck that. I've had enough balance in my life. I'm imbalanced. I don't need no more pussy. I don't need no more yoni or whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. I don't need that shit anymore. You feel what I'm saying? But being a father, having that paternity is about stepping into paternal energy. It's about tapping into before you even have to be a father. I shouldn't have to mature the moment that motherfucker, like, because now it's like I'm trying to raise a kid as I'm trying to learn how to be a father at the same time. You wonder why I get frustrated. You wonder why we frustrated and shit. And like, I don't know what to do. Granted, I know it's a life process and everything, but you have to be in a mental space prior to that. You feel me? I'm not just saying being there to take it. Oh, no. Can you process certain shit that a father would process? Here's what I mean by that. Again, sitting with your exes, sitting with your woman, actually breaking down like, tell me about your exes. Tell me about the dudes that you was fucking with in your past. You feel me? You know, I was in a relationship and I was like, at first, because I'm young, you feel me? I'm thinking about it from a sex perspective. That's it. And I tell Shorty, she's like, yo, I've had sex with a lot of men. I've had sex with a lot of women. The fuck? Like, we might be tied at that. Like, we actually wrote, she had me beat by like, no, I think I had her. No. She definitely had me beat by like 4. She had me beat by like 4. But writing it out, I was like, yo, my thing was this. This is my logic. I was young, but this is my logic. I said, you know what? If Jordan wanted to go one-on-one, he's going to play Kobe. That was my logic behind the shit. But then when I started to look at it, because when I looked at the list and she started, like, when I started to see the type of dudes that she was fucking with, he was fucking with goofballs, bro. I said, all of the women that I put my dick in, this shit will make you look like shit, bro. Don't play with me. Like, but then I saw the dude, I was like, oh, this is not, you know what I'm saying? So now I've changed that perspective. It's like, nah, like, your past matters. Your past matters to me now. It's not just from the physical. I'm not just talking about sex-wise. No, the types of motherfuckers that you was fucking with. My brothers, you need to put yourself in that position. This is going to avoid the having babies and getting trapped off and shit the wrong way and shit. Look at that motherfucker when you about to fuck her and be like, yo, bro, like, tell me about the dudes that you was fucking with previously. You dig what I'm saying? Get that shit out of her. Tell me about the dudes that you were fucking previously. I need to know. I need to fucking know what the fuck that they were, what they were like. Because that's going to tell you a lot about her as a person. Sometimes you're not going to get the truth out of them. I'm not talking about go back to their exes and try to square up or no shit like that. I'm like, yo, this mine now. I ain't going to take it. Nah, bro, I need to know why y'all didn't work. I need to know some of the things that, you feel me, bothered you about her. You feel me? Whether you can talk to that man or not. And then talk to her about the type of motherfucker he was. Does she know the depths of him? What was his schooling like? Do you know? Well, he got his degree. I didn't ask, did he have his degree? How the fuck was he in school? Was he a super senior? Did he quit, have to come back? Like, you feel me? Does the motherfucker got an IEP? I swear, yo, y'all go check out that episode. Unstable Creatures is episode 4, man. It should be dropping soon, or it might have already dropped. I don't know, but go check that shit out. That shit put things into perspective for me. It did. Coupling that with the conversation, like the shit that I was talking about, the trailers and shit. What about the motherfuckers we didn't know was in the trailers? Yeah, you can see, oh, he in a trailer, she in a trailer. I'm not fucking with them. What about the motherfuckers in your classroom that left early that you knew nothing about why they were leaving early? Because nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it. Goddamn, shout out to Unstable Creatures, bro, because they made this shit pop, yo. But anywho, this, like, my brothers, you having a baby with this shit. Really think about that. You're deciding to have a baby full out with a motherfucker you don't know. And now she trapped me. You feel me? Sign your paternity rights over, bro. You feel me? I personally feel like you should suffer through that shit. If you did that irresponsible shit from beginning to end, you should suffer through that shit. That's how I feel. You feel me? And I base that off of my own perspective because it's like, yo, if I slip up or do some shit like that and I have a baby with a woman that I don't even want to have a baby with, I got to eat that. You feel me? I feel like abortion, this is the point that I'm getting at. Like, I always felt like abortion was bullshit. It's the cheat code. It's a scapegoat because you chose, oh, I could do all of this irresponsible shit and then go get an abortion. Now, let's say it's not a baby and it's AIDS. You can't get rid of that shit. It's HIV. You're not getting rid of that shit. It's herpes. You're not getting rid of that shit. You feel me? Now I always want to, oh, my life is over. I don't know what to do. Yo, this bitch burnt me. Nigga, you burnt yourself. You went in the motherfucker raw. You didn't know her past. You didn't know shit about, oh, I know she fucking this dude. Oh. And some of y'all get on some shit. I'm going to fuck with her because I know she fuck with these type of dudes. So I know if she fucking with me, then that means I'm up in this particular caliber. You need to stop paying attention to motherfucking caliber, bro. You feel me? Right? I'm in a phase, and this is not a bragging shit. This is not no bragging shit in any way, shape, or form. But the story is going to make relevance. You feel me? I'm in a phase of my life now where I'm having conversations with women who talk about dealing with rappers, talk about dealing with basketball players. You feel me? Athletes and shit. And they're like, you know, like it's crazy shit. Like, I'll be sitting down talking. They be like, yo, you know, I used to fuck with such and such. Like, I'm like, for like the real one, like, yeah. Motherfucker send me a picture of my phone. I'm like, damn. You feel me? Now, on one side of me, it's like, you feel me? Like, one side of me is on some, damn, bro. Like, because I had to learn how to quell that shit. Like, damn, bro, I'm in this caliber shit. I'm in the nigga, fucking rappers and athletes. I'm like, yo, I'm getting the chicks that be fucking with them. But then on the other side is that it's like, what are these people like? Fuck the celebrity part. Fuck the celebrity part. Fuck the money. Fuck all that bullshit. What are these people like? What are these people like and why couldn't it work? You feel me? But then it's like, you know, for the ones with the rappers and shit, it's like, oh, yeah, I know they slow, bro. Like, you feel me? I know something's wrong with that nigga, bro. But, you know, the athlete's a little bit different and shit, but it's different caliber. But the point that I'm saying is that a lot of us get caught up in that ego shit. It's like, yo, I'm on the level to fuck with types of women that fuck with this. But for me, it's more so I've learned to be at a point where it's like, yo, what the fuck was that person like? The fuck was that person's mental space like outside of that? Because it's like, yo, why couldn't you fuck with them? You know what I'm saying? And then you hear the stories like, this person was an asshole. This person was this. Why do you fuck with assholes? Why do you fuck with people like that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, what space are you in? You start to see another person. You start to see the real person when you understand deeper aspects of it. I think I need to go into it. I'm gonna have a so Frail conversations about that. Let me write that shit down because I'm gonna have a conversation about our connection to women based off of ego, based off of, you know, our competition with men. Motherfuckers be thinking I be bullshit when I be saying this shit, bro. It's not. You feel what I'm saying? We really fuck with certain women because of the competition we have with men. You feel me? oh man, this motherfucker get money, yo. If I'm fucking his girl, if I'm fucking women that he fuck with like that, I'm getting it too. No, you're not. Because again, you be fucking with a nigga who was a dope dealer and shit. Who had a fucking IEP, bro. The nigga was in the trailers, bro. The nigga couldn't stay in school, bro. He has attention deficit disorder. He has issues. He has mental issues within himself that he controls really well. You feel me? In 2020, well, I say between 2018 and 2021, the narcissism thing is blown the fuck up. How the fuck is everybody a narcissist? How the fuck is everybody a fucking narcissist if we have not been conditioned to practice narcissism? You feel what I'm saying? This is why I always say there's a difference between self-love and self-lust. Narcissists self-lust themselves. They practice self-lust. You feel what I'm saying? True people that practice self-love are totally different from narcissists. And the defining factor is those people who are willing to correct themselves and the fucked up behavior they have, and the people that are willing to just glorify it and say this is just the way I am and embrace that shit. You feel me? Embrace that shit. There's so many women that I see nowadays calling the men that they dealt with narcissists, but then tell me, just love me as I am, flaws and all. You can't have flaws if you really love yourself, because you're going to either see that it's not a flaw, it's something that a motherfucker don't like about me, or you're going to see it as if it's a problem, I need to correct it within myself. So who's the real narcissist? You dig what I'm saying? My brothers, you getting caught up in women who will keep calling you narcissists because you won't cater to their self-lust. They don't love themselves. It's not self-love. And now you have them with a baby because now you believe in the love bombing that say, oh, I'm a baddie. Oh, I love myself. I'm this. I know I'm good. I know I'm a good woman. Look, when they start talking that bullshit, it's like, yo, I never told you that you weren't. But it's kind of what's understood. Ain't got to be explained at the same time. So we end up getting women pregnant who are practicing self-lust. Hell, we're practicing self-lust. You feel what I'm saying? We're practicing self-lust, and I'm gonna give an example of what self-lust is like for men. You feel me? I have a bald head. I have a bald head because my hair started thinning. Fuck it. Correct the shit. You feel me? But there's dudes older than me who have lost significantly more hair who are getting hair pieces. That is self-lust because you're trying to capture a specific moment without correcting the change. I'm using that as a physical level because if you can get it on the physical, you can understand how the mental and the spiritual is going to work. Self-love is like that. You feel what I'm saying? So now imagine this. Imagine, my brothers, having a baby by a woman who only dealt with men who were self-lusters. They don't correct their behavior. They don't make certain changes. They don't do none of that shit. But she fell in love with that. Like, that's who she ends up fucking with. What do you think is going to happen when how you really going to fuck with her? You feel me? Knowing her exes is not just about the competition and saying, I'm the better man. Are you really the better man? You feel me? Or are you the man who's less than the man that she couldn't keep up with? How about that one? Because now let's look at it from that perspective. If you're dealing with a woman who's on some shit where she tells you about the last dude and she reminds you, oh, he was this, he was that. Well, why didn't y'all work? It's just the timing didn't work and this, that, and the third. He was this. She's basically telling you she couldn't keep up and now she slowed down for your ass. You feel me? That's a self-luster. You're going to have a baby with a self-lusting person. So what the fuck is she going to impart within your child? You feel what I'm saying? Y'all got to stop doing this stupid shit, bro. It's not about just getting some good pussy. It's about what the fuck this motherfucker can impart in your child. You feel me? You do not need to be fucking if you don't even know what they can impart in your child. If you don't have nothing to impart in your motherfucking child, don't figure it out when your child comes in. That shit needs to be done before they get here. The fuck is wrong with y'all? You feel what I'm saying? Y'all do this shit like all the fucking time. You feel me? You ain't got shit like, as the old heads used to say, ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. I'm not just speaking that from a physical perspective, but you have nothing that you can impart to your children, yet you're trying to have children. You can't figure this shit out when they get 15. They're going to be pissed off. You dig what I'm saying? That's why I said you have to be a father before you're a father. You have to have the mindset of what you can impart, what you can give to your children. And that's going to help you find the right woman. You feel me? I know women right now that's like, I want a man who's gonna be a good father, and all they want to do is stay the fuck home and do fucking what? The fuck you gonna do? You feel what I'm saying? I can cook, I can clean. You feel me? I can submit. There's things that I could do that you no. Can you impart something into my motherfucking children that I can't impart myself? That's the real question right there. My brothers, ask yourself that question. Ask if you start these two particular points. Always consider if you about to fuck, always consider that she's ovulating. Assume that she's ovulating. If you don't want to put in the work to actually see could she be the mother of my motherfucking kid. Assume she's ovulating before you go raw. Okay, cool. You get past that shit. Ask yourself if you know that you want to go raw with this woman. Ask what she can impart in your children, right? Ask what she can impart in your children. How will you know what she can impart in your children? Did she impart anything in you? The best way to fit in is to stand out. Just be sure to make a bold statement every time you do. Stand out with your exclusive statement makers from C Truth Clothing today. Visit IamJustSeen.com to get yours right now. We show up, we show out, we dip. You know how it goes. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Like, this was about paternity. I know it seemed like I was going to be talking about abortions and shit, but nah, the concept was about paternity and the full gamut of what goes into the mind of this shit. I know. I don't have kids. I don't. This is why I don't. Because you got to be a father before you're a fucking father. You have to know how to be a father before you're a father, bro. You can't figure this out. You can't figure this shit out in the time. You feel me? And there comes levels of responsibility. You're not ready to be a father if you're not ready to be a father. If you find out, if you're not ready to be a father, if you can't do simple shit is wear protection to prevent being a father early. That's not being a father, bro. You don't have the capacity to be wise enough to make a solid decision, a sound decision in life. No fucked up shit. No, not trying to be an asshole, not trying to be petty or nothing like that. That's just the reality, bro. If your focus is, if you know what I'm saying, if you fucking a woman and you just going raw, you don't know shit about her past, you don't know shit about her. You fucking up. Oh, I know where she work. You feel me? I know where she live. You feel me? I know she got good credit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Did the motherfucker have an IEP? It's not, the IEP shit is not funny, but it's just the perspective, man. I swear to God, like, yo, when y'all listen to that fucking episode, please check it out, yo. I don't know when they dropping it, but when y'all listen to that episode, please check it out, because I don't even remember what part it was. The whole episode was dope, but she broke that shit down differently, and it's gonna make you look at relationships, it's gonna make you look at people, it's gonna make you look at life differently. But anyway, did the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, what did they have behavior issues? Because behavior is a pattern. You feel me? I know motherfuckers, I study psychology for behaviors. Niggas, motherfuckers study psychology to avoid the behaviors that they got. Like, how the fuck you not see the behaviors in yourself? I know a motherfucker right now who's dealing with depression, who is a psychologist. I get it. Everybody can deal with depression. It's all like, yo, and you tell them, oh, you're depressed. No, I'm not. How you gonna tell me I'm the psychologist? Motherfucker, you get off work, you go home, you take a nap, and then you take a nap to go to sleep. That's depression, my nigga. Like, the fuck? You get off work 5 o'clock, you take a nap from 6 to 8, you wake up and go to sleep. That's depression like a motherfucker. You feel me? That's depression. Depression so heavy is that while you sleep, you take a nap to go to sleep, and while you sleep, you have to set an alarm 4 times just to get you up. Because you can't get out of bed. How the fuck can't you see behaviors? You feel what I'm saying? So this education is cool, but motherfuckers don't even be knowledgeable. You dig what I'm saying? You can have a baby with an educated motherfucker and they can be dumb as shit. Ignorant than the motherfucker, but they educated because education is training. Like I said, you could teach a monkey how to smoke a fucking cigarette. You feel what I'm saying? So My brothers, paternity is real. I ain't just talking about a paternity test to see if you are the father. Are you a father? Not that you conceive this baby. Are you a father? Fuck if you are the father. That's a definite article. Let's use the indefinite. Are you a fucking father? Why the fuck are you fucking? Why the fuck are you fucking raw? Pick your nuts up, man. Get your shit together. My brothers, get your shit together. Stop this shit. We can no longer afford to bring any more fucking babies in under these goddamn conditions. Stop it. Fucking stop it. This shit is painful to watch. This shit is painful to see. No fucking child, no fucking male children anymore. Our women, our daughters too. But our sons should not have to father themselves. Because you just wanted to get a nut. Stop it. Stop it. Our daughters are fucking going through hell right now because of the same, because you can't impart shit within them. You feel me? Your folk, my day mama tried me. Hey mama did it. Nigga, she played me. She set me up. She knew she was ovulating. She told me I ain't had to pull out. Nigga, you grown. You want to act grown. Be a fucking man, bro. Like, what the fuck? This shit is trash, bro. This shit is trash. Y'all need to cut this shit out. So, the point of that is paternity. You know, at the core, when it comes to abortions, my brothers, you have an alternative. You feel me? You have an alternative too. If you don't want the child, sign your paternity rights over, but deal with the shit. You feel what I'm saying? Before it even gets to that point, be proactive. Be so proactive that you know that this motherfucker does not have an IEP, wasn't in the motherfucking trailers. All of their ex-boyfriends and shit or whatever the case may be, they are not mentally disturbed, sound, or whatever the case may be. You know everything about this motherfucker you about to penetrate. Know that shit. Spend time with the motherfucker. This is what the fucking talking phase is supposed to be about. You motherfuckers is asking what you doing, trying to go on dates and shit. Y'all worried about half? This is the half you need to go on with. You feel me? Motherfuckers, let's go half on a baby. Okay, I got my half. Now let's make sure your half matches my half. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry. I've had a woman ask me that one time in a joking manner. I don't know if she was joking, but she said, let's go half on a baby. I said, I don't think your half can compete with my half. That was so rude. No, it's not. It's not. Let's run the gamut down. You feel me? Let's put the shit. Now, this might sound like that bull to say you average your best. No, that's not. That's different in my opinion, because I'm not speaking as her collectively. And no, I'm speaking in regards to me. You can't go half on a baby with me. The fuck? I don't know shit about you to know if we gonna go half. Like, come on, it's like, yo, let's go invest on this motherfucking real estate property. I don't know if you know real estate or not. I don't even know if you got the money to go half. The fuck? And I'm just gonna agree to the shit? Fuck no. You feel what I'm saying? As an investor, I know that if I'm going to invest in something, right, it's not gonna be my last. I don't know if this motherfucker is coming in with all the money that they have. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know shit like that. This is shit you gotta know. So, motherfuckers, you gotta think about it. Shit, you going half on a baby is an investment, bro. It's either gonna be an asset or it's gonna be a liability. It's all in how you choose to create that investment. Your business partner, because love is law, family is business. Your business partner needs to be able to contribute successfully, bro. You feel me? You can't get in. It's not an accident at that point. I didn't know she would like this. I ain't know she was in those classes, bro. I ain't know what it is, bro. She didn't tell me. You didn't find out. You didn't go spend time with her family to see how she was raised, how she was brought up. You feel me? My ex-girlfriend, her mama told me this shit. She said, she said, you always, like, we just sitting down chilling. She said, you always meet the family before you commit to them. I don't know if she was throwing shots at her husband or whatever the case may be, but she was like, you always meet the family before you commit to that person. because you see one side of them. The family knows them. If you don't fuck with the family, don't even get involved. Don't even try to marry that person if you can't fuck with the family. You feel me? And I don't mean fuck with the family as in being comfortable and cordial. I mean, can I really fuck with the mentality of this family? I'm thankful that my mama was able to look past this shit, because if my mama had looked at my father the way that I'm breaking shit down right now, I wouldn't have been born. I wouldn't have been born. There was no reason why them two should have been fucking with each other in any way, shape, or form. I'm glad they did fuck with each other because it made me. However, it made me, my brother, my sister, which ultimately led to my nieces and nephews. I'm not even mad at that. But on paper, in reality, them two motherfuckers should have never even crossed paths. No, not even cross paths. You feel what I'm saying? And it got me at a duality because it's like, as a kid, it's crazy. It's really crazy how this played out. Like, my father was absent, but I was raised around his family. My mom was present, but I didn't meet her family until later. Crazy shit, right? So I grew up like more closer towards my dad's side of the family. You know how I don't know, our culture is split. My mom's side of the family was the religious side. My daddy's side of the family was the gangster side. You feel me? Feel me? So it's like I happen to walk that duality still, but it's like my father's side of the family is the comfortable side. You feel me? Is the comfortable side. They the gangsters and shit. They the motherfuckers that, we pop off. Like, we do the shit. You feel what I'm saying? When I finally met my mom's side of the family, I said, I don't belong here. I'm not about to. No, y'all. The girls had to. My cousins, they had to wear dresses to their ankles. Today was 20. My cousins, not like distant cousins. They age. No, my cousins, they like 2 years younger than me. I'm like, the fuck y'all got going on over here, bro? This little house on the prairie and shit. But the point is that I'm making with that is like, these two families should not even have been like, you feel me? Granted, I'm glad of the duality that it created within me. But going forward, nah, fuck. If I can't fuck with your family, now granted, my mom was able to fuck with the family too. Like, that's what, like, she don't talk about it much. My mom was a gangster too. I think she was more gangster than my dad's side of the family, but she don't want to tell that shit though. When I hear their stories, because they saved now and shit, but when I hear their stories and shit, I say, y'all motherfuckers used to cut the fuck up too. You feel me? Only problem with my dad's side of the family is they didn't go to church no more. They just said, fuck it. We like this. The mama side of the family, they're born again. But hear their stories and shit. They used to bust bottles on the side of the curb and shit, but I don't want to tell too much. It's my DNA. But anyway, all of that said, my brothers, when you start looking at women, when you get like, we can't no more can we play with this shit and just be fucking raw. Like, nah, really consider that shit. If you got the fuck raw, it's just what you do because, it's calling me. The pussy keep calling me. If that's the type of motherfucker you are, then be that. But anyway, mature, grow, because you got to be a father before you be a father. You feel what I'm saying? The conception ain't what makes you the father. The paternity test ain't what makes you the father. The ability to put yourself in a position to have a baby with a woman that's worthy of carrying your lineage and making sure you're doing everything you can to secure that lineage as best as possible through this vessel. That's what makes you a father. That's what makes you a father. And I'm going to leave it at that right there. You feel me? So be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_seen_ Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. Make sure you kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And now is the time. Start imparting these gems within our kids, especially our sons. You feel me? Let's teach our babies. If you uncomfortable and you can't really teach them to strap up and do shit like this, teach your son, look, treat every woman like she's ovulating until he gets to the point, daddy was ovulating. Teach him what that shit is. If you don't know, learn that. If you don't even know when a motherfucker is ovulating, what that shit means and when it is in the cycle, learn that shit so you can teach your motherfucking son. Damn it. You feel me? Teach our sons better ways, bro. We got to be better. We got to be better. We cannot allow ourselves to continue to stay in the same loop. You feel what I'm saying? Teach your sons what it is to become a father ahead of time. Start tapping into that shit. If you're already a father, cool. Respect that shit. Do that shit. But now let's elevate. I know I'm not a father, but at the same time, I understand the outcome of being raised in a society where our fathers don't know shit. All right. We are the products of our environment. Now let's break these cycles. All right. So, like I said, kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.